Hey there guys, I am SonicGhost, and on this day, 14 years ago, I uploaded my first video here to YouTube, meaning that today is our 14th year anniversary. And it's hard to believe that it's been 14 years of me making content, and I say this every single year when these anniversaries come around, but it bears repeating this year as well. Hard to believe it's been this long, 14 years specifically. For me, it only feels like maybe a handful of years of making videos, like 5-6 years tops. But I've been in this game for a lot longer than 5 or 6 years. So before we reminisce on the past year of content creation, I want to first start off by thanking every one of you who has watched all of my content throughout the years, whether it be the videos here on YouTube, the live streams on Twitch, or even now the live streams on YouTube as well. As that's one of the big things that we will be touching on in this video as well. Some of my plans going forward for the remainder of this said year, and just reflecting on all the different projects that we worked our way through during this past year of content creation. So I want to start that ball rolling by looking at a series that we were in the middle of between the last anniversary and now, and that is Super Luigi Galaxy. Now, I did talk briefly about how I felt about this said project during my 13th anniversary video from last year, so I recommend watching that video if you want to hear more of my thoughts on the Super Luigi Galaxy project. But that was a series that I took a little bit of a break of in between the holiday season going into the ending of 2023, going to 2024, meaning that we did bleed this playthrough into the 14th year mark of me making content. So I will be talking about this briefly here. Super Luigi Galaxy was a very fun series to put together. It was a nice revisit to a game we played previously here on the channel, but with a new twist. Instead of Mario, it's Luigi. Totally different game, and therefore we played a completely different version. I really liked how we worked our way through Super Luigi Galaxy, showing the differences between Luigi's playthrough and Mario's playthrough of the same game. Some of the differences that came with the Switch version of Super Luigi Galaxy. It was just a fun series from start to finish, and I definitely recommend people checking that out. That had some of my favorite little gags that I put into a storyline for an ongoing Let's Play series, as I was trying to tie in the story as best as I can, since there are a lot of gaps in that said story that I wanted to fill with my own little story moments. So it was a really fun series to put together, and I recommend people watching that. That wasn't the only revisit we did during 2024. We also went back to Splatoon 1 on the Wii U right before those servers shut down to play through all of the amiibo challenges. And honestly, this was something that I wasn't sure I was ever going to cover at first, as years ago when I first covered Splatoon 1 on the Wii U, I briefly touched on the amiibo challenges in its own standalone bonus video, and I didn't make any more content on it because they were essentially the same levels as what you played in the main campaign, so I thought it'd be a little too redundant, hence why we showed it as a bonus set of content for the main playthrough. One video, that was it. But with the server shutting down for the Wii U and 3DS in 2024, that was our last chance to play Splatoon on the Wii U online with the official Nintendo servers. And so, I wanted to revisit the game one final time to give it a proper look back, and I'm glad I did that, because that series is feature complete at this point. We showed every single piece of Splatoon 1 that I could show, especially nowadays, having a modified Wii U, being able to capture the gamepad screen really helped complete that said storyline, and I'm glad to have covered those amiibo challenges after so many years, and also playing the last bits of the Splatoon 1 multiplayer before those servers shut down. So that was a really fun series to go back to. Definitely recommend that one as well, especially if you watched all of the original Splatoon playthrough back in 2016, because my commentary style changed a lot from 2016 to 2024, and you can clearly hear it between watching those older videos to the newer ones in that playlist. So it's still worth a watch, and maybe even going back to watching the original run of that story mode, even the multiplayer content from Splatoon 1. But In between working on the Splatoon videos, I did also try out another set of randomizer videos here on the channel, this time around playing through Majora's Mask Randomizer. And these randomizers are a lot of fun, but I will say, looking back at these videos, they're definitely more supplementary content to my channel. And what I mean by that is I'm not putting my all into the randomizer Let's Plays like I would for a normal series, because I'm going in, for one, without researching anything, because it's a randomizer. What is there to research and to divulge information-wise? Number two, because of how everything is in unknown locations, I'm essentially playing this game like I would for a very first playthrough of anything. So I'm going around doing things I'm not even sure will pan out or not, and there's a lot of fluff. Now, mind you, there's still fun videos to watch, but I have kind of decided that I may not be covering randomizers as videos in the near future. I might just transform that into just live streams here on YouTube as a whole, because now that I have started multi-streaming between Twitch and YouTube for a lot of my different projects, the randomizer specifically was something we always streamed on Twitch, and for years I had an exclusive contract with Twitch being an affiliate. I was not able to stream anywhere else. Therefore, those kind of randomizers were exclusive to Twitch streams, and after I stopped uploading the livestream VODs to this main channel and started to upload those to a VOD channel, randomizers just basically just disappeared from this platform as a whole. That is why for a while I was doing videos with the randomizers, specifically with Ocarina of Time, then Majora's Mask, but now going forward I want to stream the randomizers instead on the YouTube channel as well as my Twitch. I think randomizers just work better as live streams compared to making full-on Let's Plays. Not to say that I won't do that ever again, it's not something in the immediate future that I'm planning on, so I just want to give people a heads up on that one. I enjoyed the Majora's Mask randomizer. I thought that was a pretty good showing of some of the tricks that you can do if you're playing a randomizer, and also just shows when you're trying to play it how you have to route things on the fly, even showing some fumbles of a player trying to remember, wait, did I do this thing, or did I forget that I already grabbed this item because I went back in time and now it just exists again? Like, it's fun to still watch, and it's very informative on just the playstyle of a randomizer, so it's still worth checking out. But in between that time of playing through Majora's Mask Randomizer, I did figure that, if we are showing an unofficial fan version of some kind of Zelda game here on the channel, I want to branch out with other games, not randomizers, but other fan-made games. And we played through 2 Ocarina of Time ROM hacks, The Missing Link and Zelda 64 Dawn and Dusk. These 2 playthroughs alone were some of the most successful videos that I put out in 2024. You guys are really seeing the fan-made games here on the channel, the ROM hacks specifically for these N64 Zelda games. And I'm glad to see it, because as someone who grew up on fan-made games during their high school days, I want to cover more of these in the future. And seeing the reception for specifically the Zelda ROM hacks has already told me this would be a really good idea going forward, because these are fun games to play through, and it really shows what the fans can do with these games that have been released for many, many years. And it shows just how far the community has come when it comes to making tools to create a game in another game's engine. So I love being able to show off these fan-made games, and if people enjoy watching those videos, I will make more of them. And I did with Mario 64 as well, because we played through 3 Mario 64 ROM hacks shortly after the N64 Zelda games, which were Mario's Vacation Course, Peach's Fury, and Only Up 64. Once again, these videos were very well received, telling me that in the future, I want to show other fan-made games or ROM hacks of any kind of any franchise game. It's not just Zelda, it's also Mario here specifically, that people are interested, and that makes me very happy. As mentioned before, as someone who grew up on a lot of ROM hacks and fan-made games, there are a lot of them that I would love to bring to the channel in the near future. So these were a lot of fun to go ahead and record through. People really enjoyed these said ROM hacks, so I'm glad to see the reception on that being very, very good, because these were some of my favorite videos to record in 2024. But now that we're done with the fan-made games, we got another specific thing I just want to mention really quick before talking about the last set of Let's Plays, because this was something that was kind of an ongoing series for about 2 years on the channel, or roughly, based on how long they were happening for, and that was the Splatoon 3 challenges. We are fully done with Splatoon 3 content now after the September 2024 mark, and because of that, Nintendo has officially put out all of the different challenge types in Splatoon 3. So that marked our end of the journey going through all those said challenges. They were fun to go through, and it was a great way for me to bring that kind of multiplayer content to this channel. I do want to make a eventual Splatoon 3 Let's Play going over the single player modes between the main one and the DLC that came out after the game came out officially. And then I also want to cover the multiplayer in a similar fashion that I did in the past with the other Splatoon games. But those kind of videos will take a very long time to prepare, and I was wondering if there was any other way to bring Splatoon content to the channel without just going back and revisiting one of the games we've already played, like with Splatoon 1. So these challenges were a great way for me to bring Splatoon 3 content to the main channel and really focus on the multiplayer aspect of this game, talking about a lot of nuances I normally wouldn't get a chance to ever bring up in a Let's Play, because there's just so much to go over and just not enough time. But when you have so many different challenges to go through, there will be plenty of time. So I was glad to be able to show those off. Those videos always perform pretty well, and I'm glad to see people enjoyed watching me play some of those multiplayer challenges. Some of them were really wacky in general, so I do miss covering those kind of challenges here on the channel. But next time you see me upload anything Splatoon 3 related, most likely it's going to be a full-on playthrough of the game, starting with the single player mode. But that's for the future. For now, let's take a look back at the past at something I covered back in the past. Pikmin. We revisited the very first Pikmin last year, and specifically this game was something I've covered already on my channel as a revisit. So this is a revisit of a revisit. Not many people know about that original story because this happened back in the early days of the channel, but back in 2011, my first Let's Play was of Majora's Mask. But a couple videos into Majora's Mask, I wanted to try making another Let's Play series alongside of Majora's Mask, and that was Pikmin. I uploaded an entire playthrough of Pikmin 1, and a few weeks later I took the videos off of YouTube simply because I was not happy with how they turned out. I thought the commentary was next to non-existent, and at this time I was still cutting up videos for the 15-minute time limit that YouTube had at this time. Although by the time I got to upload the Pikmin videos, the time limit was no longer a factor. So the series got crippled by a non-existent time limit and had a lot of random cuts in it that just didn't need to be there. So I went back in 2011, re-recorded the entire Pikmin, and did a revisit of the game at that time. That was the 2011 playthrough. It shows because a lot of stuff in that playthrough has aged between the visuals, the audio, and maybe even just some of the commentary in general. So I wanted to revisit Pikmin so we can give the game a proper go over with newer information that has been found out over the years, and also playing the newer Switch version of Pikmin 1, which did have some noticeable differences compared to the original GameCube and even Wii releases of the game. And I thought that this revisit was a lot of fun. We even actually covered another mode I never showed originally in Pikmin 1. Well, I did show it, just not much of it, and that was the challenge mode. We made that into our first ever YouTube exclusive live stream series too, where I streamed the entirety of the challenge mode, and during that time, I recorded the whole sequence and split it up into multiple parts here for the main channel that have proper episodes for a Let's Play series. If you wanted to watch me play through the whole thing live, it was there as the live stream. You missed it, I had the VOD uploaded to my VOD channel and linked to that playlist for the Pikmin series. And this set of ideas has worked out so well between streaming game and then recording the footage at the same time and splitting it up in a digestible format, but still having the VOD available. Like, this idea worked out so well. We did this later on in the year as well with another game that closes out our look back of the content we covered. But for Pikmin specifically, I'm glad I went back and revisited the first game on the channel, especially because I have wanted to cover the other Pikmin games on my channel over the years, but I just felt with how rough of a playthrough the original Pikmin 1 was, I wanted to go back, revisit that game first before I even considered playing another game in the franchise like Pikmin 2, Pikmin 3, Pikmin 4. I wanted to go back to the first game and cover that one first. Again. And I think it was worth it, especially given how the viewer reception was for the series. It seems like other people agreed, and I'm glad to see that. But our final game to look back to in 2024, so this is our final game for the 14-year anniversary mark. This was a big one, Shadow the Hedgehog. This came out at a very perfect time, and I've told this before on a live stream, but Shadow the Hedgehog was actually a series that was planned for a 2023 release originally from me. I was starting to record this game around 2023, but I was only maybe a few episodes in, and I had to stop production on it at the time because this was during a time period I had no content ready for the main YouTube channel here. And Shadow the Hedgehog was taking so much time, I couldn't make any other videos. The drought continued. So I put Shadow the Hedgehog on the back burner, and it seems like that was one of the best decisions I could have ever made, because no way was I going to predict that 2024 was going to be coined the fearless year of Shadow from Sega themselves as a big marketing push for Shadow the Hedgehog, specifically for his movie tie-in with the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie that came out in December of 24. And then also the Sonic X Shadow Generations specific remaster / brand new game in October of 24. That worked out perfectly for Shadow the Hedgehog to come out in October of that same year, right around the time Shadow Generations was released. I definitely wasn't planning on that time in the workout, but hey, it did! That's great for me. So, in terms of reception, it worked out really well. I released the series at a perfect time, so people were really wanting to look up Shadow the Hedgehog content in general. So, my videos, I noticed they were getting a lot of traction at one point, so there was definitely more people searching for these said videos, and they were popping up in people's feeds. And that is really good because this series was one of the series that I put so much time into. It was definitely one of the most high production projects that I've done, not just from this past year, but just in general, the history of the channel. There's so much back and forth going on between all of the different cutscene stuff to really focus on the cinematics. You have multiple different mission types to show off, so there's a bunch of ranks to talk about and just different mechanics in the game to go over, the mission structure. You have secret keys to find, so a bunch of collectibles. Like, there was so much to cover for Shadow, and it was very overwhelming. In fact, another story I've told before in a live stream as well is that Shadow the Hedgehog was something I was actually going to try many years ago to record as a series. In 2014, I recorded some of the game. I believe at the time, because I no longer have this footage, sadly, but at the time I recorded up to the neutral route being complete. So at that point, it was probably just around 5 or 6 videos, and from that point, I dropped the series knowing that 2014 me was just not ready for a series that big yet. And he was right, because no way was I ready for that. I definitely needed a lot more experience under my belt for bigger projects like this. And man, I'm glad I waited, because how the whole series turned down the very end of it all, with just covering the main game, showing off all the different missions, getting all the keys, showing off every single story path, along with all the extra content at the end. Like, you have expert mode, which we streamed through all of that as a main series, broke it up into individual videos like we did with the Pikmin stuff. That worked out really well, converting some bonus content into live stream stuff. Recently, we just also streamed through the beta version of Shadow the Hedgehog here on the channel. Also showcased that as a proper video and had a live stream tied to it, showing off more content we couldn't show in the bonus video. So there was a lot that went into Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a very feature-rich, complete Let's Play series. Probably the most detailed Shadow the Hedgehog set of videos you're gonna find on this platform. And that is something I can be really proud of. I'm very happy with how that series turned out. In fact, it's one of my favorite series I've ever produced here on this channel as a whole. It turned out really well. I'm glad with just the whole structure of it, and the reception on it, again, was very positive. And I'm glad to see other people also enjoyed the series too. But with Shadow the Hedgehog being complete, that was it for the 14 years of making the content here on the channel. That concludes that whole year stretch, of making content. So now we're at the point of the video where I just want to talk about some future plans here for 2025. I already touched about some of these ideas when I made a update video for the beginning of the new year, kind of just going over some upcoming videos at the time and also some plans, but I want to reiterate on some of those points here in this video, but specifically flesh out more of those specific points that I talked about in that channel update for people who didn't see that one. But the short of it is, because you see what I did there, we're going to talk about them. The shorts. I started this year focusing a little more on short form content, as in the past I uploaded live stream highlights from all the different streams I've done into compilation videos, but those compilation videos have become harder and harder to keep up with. So I put a stop to those going into 2025, and I'm so glad I did that because it's made my workflow a lot simpler now. I could just stream something, finish it, export it out, and then I'm done. I don't really have to work on the stream anymore. It's out of sight, out of mind. But with those highlights, I always had to, as soon as the stream was done, put those highlights into a timeline, cut them down, and then also work on the stream VOD to cut that down and get that uploaded to the VOD channel. It was a lot more work on me, and I'm glad I stopped focusing so much on making a bunch of highlights for a monthly highlight reel, because it just, after a while, those highlight reels really weren't panning out all that well. They were doing okay in terms of viewer reception, like you guys did seem to enjoy those, but after a certain point, I noticed that there was a plateau in the view count, and normally it's not really too big of a deal, especially when you're a smaller content creator. You're making content because you want to, because the view count is going to be all over the place. And because of that, if you're not enjoying making the content, then you move on. But if you still enjoy it, you continue making those said videos. In the case of the stream highlights, I was not really enjoying making those anymore. So instead, I've now converted those kind of highlights into shorts, which have been doing really well here on the channel. And I've been having a lot more fun putting those shorts together. I got a plethora of different clips to work through over the years. And I got so many shorts in the back burner at this point that I'm releasing some here and there throughout the week. And I still have a mountain of shorts to go through. Probably like another month, 2 months worth of shorts, if that. So I think that's a much better way of handling those live stream highlights. I've been clipping less and less stuff as I'm streaming now, which has worked out because I'm getting more organic clips that really do work out better in this kind of format. They're definitely something worth watching in comparison to sometimes I'm trying to make a highlight, so I'm forcing a bit, and it definitely isn't as entertaining. So shorts have been a bigger focus for me this year. It's been working out really well, and especially now with YouTube giving us more time to work with for the shorts, up to 3 minutes worth of time for that kind of content. That means I have some older clips that are a little over a minute that now work for a short. So I've been converting a lot of those memorable moments over the years into shorts, and it's been a lot of fun to put those together. So expect more shorts in your feed in the future. And thankfully, if it's not really your thing, I'm uploading shorts normally as a supplementary form of content in between mainline videos, so it doesn't really distract from the main content. YouTube does a good job at separating shorts from main videos on people's subscription feeds and on their channels as a whole. So it's very easy to find those kind of things if you want to watch them. And if you're not interested in shorts, then you just don't even need to worry about it, which is why I've liked this kind of format more than making those live stream highlight videos too, because they would interfere with other videos, and sometimes a poor performance of one could drag down other videos in the process. So that's the big one right there. Shorts have been working real well for me, and I'm glad to see that they have been well received as well, which has kind of been the theme for a lot of our projects this past year. A lot of stuff has been well received by you guys, the community, and I'm glad to see it. But we still have other projects here that are in the pipeline. Got a new playthrough starting here very soon. In fact, I have something in the works that hopefully I should be getting out this month here on the channel. Don't want to exactly put a date on it just yet because I got to put on some final touches to it, but this has been something that's been long overdue, and I'm finally ready to cover this said game on the channel. And when you see the first video appear in your sub box, you will know exactly what I'm talking about if you're a veteran here of the channel. Because, again, this series, long overdue. It's been something that's been on the back burner, but just kept on getting pushed off. But there's other things I want to focus on too. I got some new series I want to cover on the channel, some returning games, maybe some new ones to focus on as well. There's a lot of stuff that I have planned here for 2025, and I'm very excited to be sharing it all with you here very soon. But one big thing I do want to talk about, and I mentioned this briefly during the reflection period of this video, is that I started to multi-stream. That was one of the big things from last year between Twitch and YouTube. Streaming now more to YouTube has opened my eyes to how this platform handles streaming as a whole, along with some other factors too, like trying to focus on what kind of content people want to watch here on the platform for a live stream compared to videos, and just seeing what works and what doesn't work. Last year was filled with a lot more experimentation as we started mainly doing multi-streaming stuff with Splatoon 3 content at the time, wrapping up some of the events that were happening more often than not at that point in time, like Big Runs, Splatfest, stuff like that. And then we branched out to doing other content, like I did some randomizer stuff, played through all of the Sonic X Shadow Generations, both Sonic Generation and Shadow Generations, via streams for Twitch and YouTube. And as mentioned before, we did some YouTube exclusive streams with the Pikmin and Shadow the Hedgehog content. So I've been focusing more on just trying to figure out what works for YouTube streams and what doesn't work. And I also want to try more of that this year in 2025. And we're going to try some of that starting tomorrow, actually. So normally tomorrow would be a Thursday stream over on Twitch. And for those who don't follow, we stream every Tuesday and Thursday over on Twitch, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We play a variety of different games, between playing things for the first time, doing challenge runs of games, maybe a casual playthrough or something. There's multiple different things we do over on the Twitch channel. But I know that not everyone likes watching on Twitch because of some of their specific issues at hand, like with some of the ad system or maybe the player not working well for some people. So people have enjoyed watching more streams over the years on YouTube because they just have a much better video player, and the ad situation is a little bit different here, so it's not as intrusive as it can be on Twitch. So that's why last year I wanted to try, when Twitch allowed their creators now to stream not only on other platforms, but other platforms at the same time as they stream on Twitch. We tried out multi-streaming with some series, and I noticed near the end of the year, I was starting to find a little bit more of a sweet spot of what kind of content to cover for streams on this channel as well. So tomorrow, I want to try another idea of content to stream on YouTube alongside of Twitch. So if you're watching this video the day it goes up, you get a little bit of a sneak peek of what to expect on Thursday. So this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be streaming through Ocarina of Time. Specifically, I'm going to be doing a challenge run of the game on the PC port. So we're going to be playing through the fan-made PC version of the game, which has nicer looking graphics, higher frame rate, widescreen, and a bunch of modifiers that we can trigger on and off to make our Ocarina of Time experience easier or even harder. And we're going to make it harder because we like challenges in this house. So join us here tomorrow on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern for an Ocarina of Time challenge run. And we'll be doing this said challenge run on YouTube here alongside with my Twitch channel. I'll be streaming to both platforms every Thursday with this challenge until it's complete. And this specific challenge will tell me what kind of content works best as live streams here on this platform as well as Twitch. And if people enjoy watching the Ocarina stream here on YouTube, then this will tell me what kind of content that I can stream going forward here on the platform as well. I don't want to make every single one of my series that I do between Twitch and YouTube a multi-stream thing, or at least not yet. That's something that might not be out of the cards fully. It depends on how the future goes, but for right now, I mainly want to focus on doing very specific kind of playthroughs of games as live streams here on YouTube that make more sense for the channel. Things like the challenge runs of projects maybe we've covered in the past, like Ocarina of Time we played here on the channel before. And then maybe also things like the randomizers I mentioned before, or even playing specific games that we've covered here on the channel, like with Sonic and Shadow Generations, playing through Sonic Generations and Shadow Generations for the first time as a live stream series worked really well here on the channel when I've covered both Sonic Generations originally, and then I was covering Shadow the Hedgehog at the same time of streaming Shadow Generations. So I'm starting to find this sweet spot of content to put on this platform, but I would like everyone's input as well on this. What would you like to stream here on YouTube? Like, what would you want to see as a live stream series here? Would you want to see more off-the-cuff kind of stuff like we do over on Twitch? Like right now we're playing through Mario and Luigi Brothership for the first time. That kind of stuff I've normally only done exclusively to Twitch because that just performs better over there. But would you like to see more challenge content on this platform, like with this Ocarina of Time challenge run? We're going to be playing the game in a much harder format. This is the kind of stuff I would love to know. Definitely leave me your suggestions in the comments below. I would definitely appreciate any input on what things you guys would like to see as future live streams here on YouTube. But I think that's enough rambling for this anniversary video. Probably one of the longest anniversary videos I've ever recorded. So I think it's time for us to wrap this up. Thank you all for another fun year of content creation. Everyone's support means a lot to me. It's the whole reason why I'm still making content in general between videos and then live streaming. It's just been a very fun hobby of mine that's starting to turn into something a little more than a hobby. It's like a nice escape from reality, getting to hang out with people. And it's even a nice job too when I get to do stuff that I like and get paid for it, which has been very, very nice too. It's definitely helped me continue making content in the future. Let me put back into this said hobby, upgrading our gear over the years too. So everyone's support has meant a lot between people subscribing on Twitch, following the channel there, donating the bits, and then on the YouTube side, subscribing to this channel, watching the videos, commenting below, sharing them around with your friends, becoming a YouTube member, like all that kind of stuff has been very, very much appreciated, and it definitely keeps the channel going. And I definitely plan on continuing doing this for as long as I can, because this is still something I enjoy to do quite a lot. And a lot of other people around me definitely have agreed with that. That I've gotten a lot of encouragement from my friends and my family, and I greatly appreciate all you as well. You all know who you are, who have definitely supported me the most over the years, and I appreciate every single one of you. But with that said, that's gonna do it for this 14-year anniversary video. We're going into year 15 of content creation. Big old 15. In fact, YouTube was reminding me about that because my channel actually turned 15 years old. My channel anniversary and my content creation anniversary are very close to lining up, but they're almost like a whole year apart, and that's just because I made a YouTube account in 2010. Didn't really use it until 2011, but I had it for watching videos for about a year, and then I got interested to make some of my own. So I don't really count the channel anniversary specifically for the big number, but hey, it's 15 years old at this point, and I'm going into year 15 of making content, so it's a pretty significant year. And I have some pretty big projects to share with you guys here throughout 2025, and I hope everyone enjoys what we'll have coming out. You see, I'm starting to ramble to a point now, I'm not even trying to remember what I'm going to say next. I'm tripping on my own words. That's how you know we've rambled long enough. I hope you guys will enjoy all the content coming your way here very soon. Definitely check out the Ocarina of Time stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, we will be uploading that stream on the VOD channel after the fact, but the stream will be unlisted, so you can easily go back, watch it again if it's in your history on YouTube, or just find the link on my social media platforms, as I'll be sharing out the stream link there on platforms like my Twitter or Blue Sky. Definitely check me out over there as well. All those said links you can easily find in the description of every single video, and also on my About tab on the main YouTube channel itself. But that's enough rambling for now. Thank you guys for this past year of content creation. Definitely looking forward to those future projects to come, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos coming your way here very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.